Yo, what's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the Mechee from the Midwest podcast. If you haven't already, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for the latest sports updates. We are dealing with NBA this week. Conference championships are set. We have the New York Knicks versus the Indiana Pacers, and on the west side, we have the Minnesota Timberwolves versus the young, hungry Oklahoma City Thunder. I just want to do a quick breakdown on what I think about the teams right now and give y'all some predictions and what I'm predicting from this round and who should be going to the NBA Finals this year. First team, I want to start with Minnesota Timberwolves. It was they put out the Denver Nuggets. Denver Nuggets? No. Minnesota put out the Golden State Warriors. They got them out of there. And then let me see what else happened here. Minnesota put out OKC. I'm all over the place. Minnesota put out the Warriors, and now they are set to go against OKC. OKC just went to Game 7 with the Denver Nuggets. Just to speak on that right quick, they won the series. What was it? 4-2? No, 4-3. It went all 7 games. What happened here to me is OKC had the younger team. It was easy to they can run up and down the court. It seemed like OKC could. I mean the Nuggets couldn't really keep up. They were dealing with a lot of injuries. I'm not sure if Jokic had an injury. It just looked like it was the regular Jokic out there. Um, Jamal Murray, they said he came down with the flu this last game. He's been looking like he had a flu all year when you think about it. He really hasn't looked too good, especially in the playoffs. Michael Porter Jr. had a shoulder injury. He couldn't buy a basket. He barely, I think they said he went over 10 points. He went in double digits one time for this whole series out of 7 games. The rest of them was 6 points, 8 points, 9 points, something like that. That's a big bummer. And then Aaron Gordon came down with a hamstring injury that they were saying that they was going to let him sit out that game. They didn't want him to play because it can cause even more of an injury. But he showed heart and he showed up to that game and tried to play to his best ability. They just didn't have enough. The crazy thing about it is SGA didn't even have like a great game that you would think like, oh, SGA dropped 50 points or 40 points on these dudes, and they still managed to win by 40 points. I know a lot of this. The game was pretty much over, probably like midway through the third quarter. I want to say they went up like 46-60, and after that, it was like they didn't look back. They went up 40 points. Caruso was out there guarding Jokic, playing hella defense. As soon as he smacked the ball down and smacked it away from Jokic, they already down the court for the layup, easy point. So, um, disappointing year for Denver. They didn't. They lost their coach. They end up firing their coach right before the playoffs start. So I'm not sure what the friction is there. But it just like Denver was defeated, man. They had a lot of injuries, but for them to push this young team to the Game 7, that shows like if they were healthy, what if they were healthy? Would they be able to beat OKC? And I think they would because if they hanged all the way to 7 games with all those type of injuries and the flu and all that stuff that Murray had, OKC would have been out of there. But at the end of the day, OKC pulled it off. So salute to them. We now have Minnesota set up to go against the OKC Thunder. Early prediction for me, the prediction I'm going with, I'm going to say OKC in I want to say OKC in 5. I want to say OKC in 5, and the reason is because I believe Anthony Edwards is going to do his part. Randall's been balling out. Dante coming off the bench has been okay, but my thing is Gobert. I think he's going to be in a lot of foul trouble trying to stay on Harnstein and Chet. I think they're going to once they bring him out that paint. Well, once Chet bring him outside that paint, or Heinstein go up for a oop or something, Gobert just gonna be getting dunked on the whole series. He's gonna put himself in foul trouble, and I think it's gonna get ugly for him. On like I said, the OKC they just I feel like they're the younger team. They look more hungry. They got the number 1 seed. They just beat the Denver Nuggets. Yeah, they played a little bit longer in the series, but I just believe that they'll pull this off. Minnesota is still they're still a piece away from being that team that you got to look at as like a contender. Even though they did just come off playing um, Denver, no, Dallas last year, and they could have made it to the Western Conference. Well, they could have made it to the finals again. But like I said, I believe that um, Thunder's time is now. They look good. They the youngest team I want to say in the playoffs remaining. So I believe that Minnesota will pull it off. Not the Minnesota. I think OKC will pull it off and win this series 4-1. That's my prediction for the Western Conference Final. Um, moving over to the East side, we have Jalen Brunson going crazy on New York Knicks. We got Halliburton over on the Pacers going crazy. Both of these teams match up well. I want to say that New York, with them beating, once you beat the defending champions, you got to have that mentality. Like, look, if we could beat the defending champions, there's nobody left in this playoffs that can beat us. And I think that's the approach that New York's going to be doing. That they're going to take. They haven't been this deep into the playoffs for 25 years. They got the whole New York on their back right now, so the whole team looks healthy. Indiana, the whole team looks healthy, so this shouldn't be no excuses. With this one, I want to say the Pacers is the deeper team. They got the deeper bench. So if they can steal game one or two, the Knicks will be in trouble. And if that's the case, if the Pacers steal game one, put it like this: if Pacers steal game one, I believe the Pacers can win in six. But if New York wins both games at home, I believe that they can still win in Indiana. It'll probably be the fourth game, and once they go up 3-1, I don't see Pacers coming back for that. So um, overall, if I'm being just to keep it clear, I'm gonna go. I'll go Knicks in six. No, I'll go Knicks in five. I think Knicks can get them out there in five. I think, like I said, they can pull off a win in Indiana. If they steal a game in Indiana, that means that game five will be in New York. You see how they had the crowd behind them. Both teams are, like I said, both teams are healthy. Carl Anthony Towns, Bronson, Hart, OG. Who else they got? Mitchell Robinson. He's starting to look. He was the only one that wasn't too healthy, a little bit rusty. But now that he's getting those rebounds, they're definitely gonna need it with this team. Um, I would say the Pacers, like I said, their biggest strength is they bench. That once they relieve some of those starters, those bench players that come in and still keep the score, running up the score. I just believe New York just, like I say, you beat the champs. I got to rock with the team that beat the champs. So I'm gonna say the Knicks in five. I'll say Knicks in five. So my final predictions for the NBA Western and Eastern Conference Finals is the OKC Thunder in five and the New York Knicks in five versus the Pacers. That's all I got for the NBA this week, man. I said good luck to the four teams that's left in the playoff, the final four right here. I'll get back to y'all as the schedule starts tomorrow. Who plays tomorrow? Thunder and the Timberwolves play tomorrow. So I'll probably around game two is when I'll start making a couple more videos and let y'all know what I think so far. And hopefully there's no injury, so there's no excuses going forward. So that's all I got for this episode, man. Thank y'all for tuning in to Mechee from the Midwest Podcast. Um, like, share, and subscribe to the channel for the latest NBA